Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
The Chamorro Land Trust Commission ratifying almost 3,000 leases, and they're planning on seeking validation from senators for the leases they voted to ratify. The CLTC will also seek approval from the Legislature for 102 leases that the Attorney General deemed null and void in a May legal opinion. As you may recall, a K-Wave News investigation months ago found employees of the Department of Land Management and their relatives switched places in line, meaning employees and their family members had either received leases or were in the process of receiving leases, while other CLTC applicants waited decades without so much as a phone call from the Chamorro Land Trust. Many of the leases granted to land management employees and their relatives were in the controversial Barragata Heights CLTC property, with CLTC documents showing that several of the land trust lots in Barragata Heights have been appraised at upwards of $400,000 per lot. One CLTC Barragata Heights lot, leased to Joseph A. Beneventi, has an assessed value of $707,000. Despite questions from CLTC board leadership, the media, leaseholders, applicants, the public, and elected officials, the CLTC has not rescinded or revoked a single lease or conducted a further look into whether or not employees use their authority to fast-track leases for their family members or for themselves.
No leases have been voided.
And a policy approved by the board months ago requiring land management and land trust employees to disclose how they're related to lessees and applicants has not moved forward since its adoption. The land trust found that applying the AG's legal opinion and adhering to the rules and regs for the Chamorro Land Trust across the board would be too problematic for CLTC leaseholders and applicants. Josh Leon Guerrero, one of several CLTC applicants at yesterday's meeting, looking for answers. While some have waited decades for CLTC land, Leon Guerrero, a fairly new applicant.
A new applicant, 2015, but I was told I can transfer or swap places with my uncle, which I did, and he's a 1995 applicant.
Land Management Director Michael Borja, whose sister was slated to receive a lot in Barragata Heights until she rescinded her application amid the controversy surrounding the awarding of leases in that area, proposed rule changes allowing switching places in line and switching application rights. The AG's opinion stated the law does not allow for such practices. These rule changes would have to be approved by senators, including Senator Regine Biscoe-Lee, who has a pending CLTC lease for a lot in Barragata Heights. Lee has said she took over the application rights for a CLTC lease from her mother, who was a still living 1995 land trust applicant. Months after taking over her mother's application, Lee was awarded a lot in Barragata Heights. The senator hasn't signed the lease yet, according to Land Management Director Borja. Lee had asked for an investigation into the awarding of leases in Barragata Heights. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.